Hi there, and welcome to 5 Tips of Manifesting Money Miracles. I'm Amirah Hall, and today I have with me Denise Arend, and we will talk to you about how to manifest money miracles. So I have a question or two for you. Do you ever avoid looking at your debt because it's too scary? Or do you avoid words like budgeting or knowing your numbers? And just hope that maybe things will miraculously get better if you just avoid it. Maybe you hope and you pray that things are going to get better and ask people to say prayers for you, and maybe you're saying your affirmations till you're blue in the face. Do you get anxious about money, especially knowing when it's time to pay those bills? Or you have a partner or spouse that keeps nagging you or anxious about the money or asking you where you're spending the money and how come it's not getting to the bank account. Maybe you compare yourself to others and want to do better, or are judging yourself for not doing as good as maybe your neighbors or your good friends. Maybe you know, in fact, that you need to have a savings account or a retirement account and or save and pay for rainy day expenses, but you haven't figured out how to make that happen. And you know that you need to figure it out quickly, and you get more stressed because there's more bills to come in every month. So if any of those questions are prominent on your mind, then you're probably in the right place, wouldn't you say? We're gonna talk about the reasons why you have all this money pain and what's blocking that money flow so that you can start manifesting money miracles in your own life. And there's actually elegant ways to engage and attract money to you, even if you have been struggling for a long time. I've witnessed it myself, and I know, Denise, you have too.
Absolutely.
So before we go too far, I want to tell you about Denise. I've been very impressed with my dear friend Denise. We met over 8 years ago here in San Diego, and I met Denise because she is the founder of what we call Wine, Women, and Wealth. And I was very impressed with the group of women that she gathers and the education that she provides to the community. And we become good friends. Denise is somebody that believes that everybody is entitled to send their kids to college, retire with dignity, and save a pile of money for the future. She's passionate about making proven money financial solutions that are available that are easy to understand, and ways that women, working class, middle class people, and those people that don't have the 9-figure easy for me to say, portfolios, how they too can have an equal playing field. And when it comes to wealth building strategies and serving the underserved, that's Denise behind the mission. She's an executive vice president with Five Rings Financial, one of their top producers, and nearly 20 years of experience in financial services. And she's started in New Mexico, Colorado. And Denise, how many states are you in now? I know it's growing so fast.
I'm licensed probably in about 40. So we're spreading the word, right?
That's incredible. And she brings a special blend of experience as a mother, as a wife, and a successful financial services professional. She is really leading and empowering women in America to financial freedom. What I admire about Denise is that she believes in reducing the risk of losing your money and increasing your opportunities to gain wealth. She's found ways to teach people in learning about money, making it fun, networking, connecting women through Wine, Women, and Wealth, which has truly been a lot of fun, a great education for me, and helping us all stay together and learn together. So thank you, Denise, for being here today. I know you're extremely busy, so this is a precious time.
Not too busy for you, my friend. I'll tell you, thank you. What a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much, Amirah.
You're quite welcome.
I would like an opportunity to brag on you a little bit too, my friend, because I'll tell you what, when we met 8 years ago, it was absolutely like a spark. I really felt like this is a woman I can absolutely connect with. And she's someone who you just, when you meet her, she's just got this amazing sense about her. You just are drawn to her. On the professional side, Amirah has been a successful international professional clairvoyant and quantum energy expert. And she's been doing this for over 25 years as an expert trainer and mentor. She shares the hidden secrets of regeneration and renewal using quantum activation techniques and guided meditation. And her masterful transformation skills provide this integrated fast track for manifesting, maintaining and growing abundant health, wealth, and inner joy. It's something everyone's looking for, right? And you can just get that when you meet her. After a near-death experience in 1998, Amirah's life transformed as she underwent a spiritual struggle, integrating her extraordinary abilities into the physical world. That is a big deal. At that time, Amirah left behind over 20 years of sales and marketing in the corporate world for her life work of really reaching out and helping people on their spiritual path to renewal. She has gained international recognition. She's worked with the royal family and members in Dubai and many thousands of individuals worldwide. We were just talking today, and she's talking to someone in Europe, talking to somebody in Dubai, she's just an international figure. She's also a renowned author, has 3 books out, and combines her healing abilities, quantum awareness, and life experiences, and helps you in dissolving energetic barriers that prevent you from your well-being, abundance, love, and harmonious relationships with yourself and others. And she is an amazing person to work with, because even when you're just having a conversation with you can feel the warmth that she's sending you all the time. So I just feel like we make an awesome team. We talk about, we've got the finance expert and the energy expert, and those 2 things go hand in hand, don't they?
Well, they do. And, Denise, I want to share, when I came back from Dubai, I've been gone 5 years. And when I went back to greet you or say hello, reconnect at your Wine Women in Wealth. And what was fascinating to me is I listened to your presentation. I realized, you know what? Denise and I are teaching the same thing. We're teaching the same thing. From a conceptual point of view. And I went, wow, you know what? I've got some tools that if we pair our information together, I think we can really exponentially help people understand, first of all, that their energy, and so is their money. And, it seems like everybody's scrambling for more. So let's not scramble. Let's just attract it. Let's have fun and have a little wine and and really, so that's how this conversation developed. And so let's dive in, Denise. I'm fascinated because every day you work with people in their financial needs, and honestly, I also do, but it's not as direct as, let's say, you would.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about that women. We're going to generalize or focus on women today, but we certainly work with men. Men are included.
Right.
Yes, so it's not exclusive ladies club.
Yes, exactly.
Why would you say that we do spend more time on? What was your experience with women, and why focus on that?
Well, I really found that, when I first started in this industry, it still is really a man's world, and it's also a wealthy man's world. Unfortunately, most people who work in financial services are very set on having people who have $500,000 or $1 million or $10 million net worth, or they won't even work with them. On the flip side, the people who really need the help are the middle class, the people who have worked hard all their lives and don't know how to actually create the wealth that they need for the later years in their life. And if the middle class has been ignored, women have been virtually invisible. And I saw so many women who were afraid to even open a statement. I saw many women who were, I'll just let my husband handle that because I don't want to deal with it. And giving away all their power about money, and also giving away their ability to share in a relationship about money. No one should have the full responsibility of the money, I saw women who were hiding money from their husbands and their partners with a lot of debt. And I saw men squirreling away money to, just in case they ever got divorced. I saw all kinds of things. And I thought, people just need to have a better relationship with money. And so they can feel good about sharing that information. So I set out on a mission to educate women about money, just as our company, Five Rings Financial, is on a mission to educate the middle class about money. And that's where it all began, because education is the key. The only thing that can beat fear is education, right? So
Well,
that.
absolutely. Education is one of those vehicles that help us to release the energetic blocks that I would look at, and taking that first step is part of what we need to do is learn more. So let's step right into. Before we go too far, I want people to stay right to the end, because we've got a special gift for you. So please hang in there. We're going to also give you some processes. So as much as we're talking about the reasons behind, we're going to support you with this during the season of giving. We want you to receive the release of the energies that are blocking you from manifesting some more of what you want in your life. So that's our gift for you today, but you got to hang in there with us. So the first reason, what would you say would be the first thing in your experience of blocking the money flow in our life?
I think it's fear. I think the main thing that people run into is fear, and when you're fearful, you can't move forward. And if you're fearful and you're focusing on the loss of money, the loss of security, the loss of things, you can't focus on the abundance that surrounds you and the things that are great around you. You can't focus on, okay, how do I get out of this? Because you're so frightened and so focusing inwardly and being afraid.
And so when a person's afraid, their energy actually gets stopped. It stops flowing. It's like, I'd like to use the analogy of a river. So when that energy of fear, it comes in and it's blocking us, it stops everything. And when everything stops, well, we can't manifest in terms of the law of attraction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so we find that, people are, when they're fearful like that, they tend to hunker down. They tend to not talk. I mean, and societally, we've been told, we don't talk about things like money. So we're fearful to even say, hey, I'm going through a rough time. I don't know how to deal with this. And no one even teaches us about money, right? I mean, the last time we all learned about money in school was when we were in second grade and your teacher said, here's $1, here's a quarter, here's a dime, here's a nickel, here's a penny, let's make change, right? No, this is about. And so,
the fear of the unknown. And I have to say, going to Dubai was a pretty big stretch for me. And when people think of Dubai, they think of just ultra luxury and riches, and it really was that. And I spent a lot of time wandering around, just observing, and being with many of my clients were very well heeled, let's just say, and observing what is it that creates that. And it's an energy, it's a beingness, it's a fluidity, and it's a trust. It's a certain confidence of just allowing yourself to receive it, and I have to say, when mention fear, the fear of losing it, the fear of talking about it, the fear of having it, the fear of all of these fears, many of them are unconscious. They're not conscious, because most people that I work with are pretty smart. If they knew where it was, they would have left it behind, right? If they could have easily let it go. So,
well, and sometimes I think that people, even when they do raise their standard of living, when they raise the amount of money they're bringing in or the amount of money they have in the bank, they also have to raise themselves to that level, or guess what? They don't keep it. They find it somehow or another, they sabotage themselves from losing it, unless they raise themselves up to believe their worthiness and their ability to keep it, that they deserve this money.
As they say, studies of sports or stars that have gained huge amounts of money, or lottery winners, that there's statistic that they lose it within 3 years because they haven't raised their level of either awareness, education. And I find it's it's a vibration, the frequency that just doesn't match. And when it doesn't match, it just falls through your fingers. I know a lot of people, they think, they have perceptions of money is dirty. So it literally goes through their hands. And it might have been your mom repeating over and over when you were a little kid, oh, you touched that dirty money, now you got to go wash your hands.
Or that people who have money are bad, got it by some ill means. I mean, there are a lot of societal pressures that are old adages that I think that were just coping mechanisms for people who didn't have money, didn't know how to get it. Who said money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil, which is not what the Bible says, by the way. It says the love of money above all else is the root of all evil. But the thing is that we've taken these things and they've become ingrained in our society, and that's kind of frightening. Who do you think I am, Rockefeller? Who do you think you are?
Princess Muckety Muck.
Exactly. And so that becomes part of how we think about money. And gosh, a long time ago, I was given a book called Money is My Friend. It's an old book, and it's a little thin volume, and it talked about having a relationship with money. And if you say, oh, I hate money, I hate dealing with money, then why would money want to come into your life? Have a relationship
I hate paying this bill. I hate paying this bill. I hate paying the bill, or, oh, I dread having to write this check every month,
Right. Exactly. But when you turn it around and you say, hey, I welcome you into my life, money, and I am grateful for the things that I have because of money.
And I'm learning about it. I'm learning to understand you. It's just like a new friend, right? We can learn new dynamics. So, I like to introduce one of the techniques that I use, one of the tools. I call it a havingness tool. And it's simply imagining in your mind a gauge. And I like to visualize a gauge like on my car odometer. And so on one side I have 0 and the other side is 100, and I have an imaginary needle, and so I close my eyes and I ask myself, so what's my ability to or let's ask this question: how much fear is impacting my ability to receive money? So from 0 to 100, we don't have to know where the fear is. We don't have to know what it is or why it is or whose it is. It might be yours. It might be your mom's. It might be, other family members or friends.
A spouse.
Yeah, or boss, so we can just ask that. And when you ask the gauge, like you might get 30% or you may get 50%, all we do is we're going to ground that gauge, and given a grounding cord means attaching a cord or a line to the center of the earth, and then watching that needle. The needle might fluctuate and move closer to 100%. Or we can take an imaginary little sticky sponge or magic wand and just clear off any unseen energy that is preventing our needle from going to 100%. So when we do that, we can just clear off any place where there's some fear stuck, and we can move on to our number 2 tip or reason why we block money in our life.
I was busy with my fear gauge, Amirah. I was working very hard.
How did it look for you? How did it look?
Actually, it looks better than it ever has. Over the years, I've lived all of those things. I came from a place where I had a lot of fear. That's when I got into this business. I learned so much. I allowed myself to be educated, and that was really what helped me. So it was very good to see that I know where it was before, and I know where it is now.
And I know you shared some stories of shopping for some new toys, some big boy toys, you and your husband. Mm-hmm. And so, the thing of it is we could, like in buying a new car or a new boat, and you might have the money, but there could be some fear of the unknown. Oh, gee, I don't know how to drive a Lamborghini, or I don't know how to start a Ferrari, and I heard you can never stall it, but I would be able to. So those are also fears that are related to a new level of fear. And so it's not like we're ever finished. There's always going to be that energy of, it could be somebody else's that you picked up, everything is moving all the time.
Well, or even as someone heard you just say the words Lamborghini, Ferrari, boat, they might have said, oh, I could never have that. I could never have that. But you can. you can't, you've got to get rid of the fear of it first.
Well, and just dovetailing on that, you might not have the fear, but
Mhm.
your kids might have a fear on that, or your mother might be thinking of, oh no, they're on the motorcycle, or we're
Mhm.
making stuff up here for everybody
That's
who
right.
doesn't know us or does know us. If I pull up on a Rolls Royce or a Bentley,
You'll know you know her.
yeah, you know me.
No fear.
Yeah. But it's just fun, in dreaming like this and fantasizing. But it's not always our fear. And it
Mhm.
could be fear from when we were a child.
Mhm.
And so, and it's just a surprising thing. You could see, oh, gee, look at that fear on there. That's my mother went to the hospital and was afraid that there wasn't going to be the money for the bills or
Mhm.
who was going, it might not even be related to the money. So
Mhm.
that's the interesting thing that I find over the years. It's those hidden secrets that are removed. When that gets pushed off the way, then we can be free to discover the next reason that might be blocking our money flow.
Right. Well, and that one ties right in, because we just talked about how important it is to be educated to obliterate fear. And that's the thing. People do really want to be educated, but where do they go to get that education? I mean, really, and again, it goes back to fear. Okay, I'm going to go to this financial advisor in this big office with their big glass windows and marble, and maybe I'll look foolish. That's another big fear people have around money, is of looking foolish. And so you've got to get yourself educated. You've got to learn about what's out there. And that's why we're so passionate about educating people before we even talk about numbers and exact figures, is educating people about how things are. People really aren't educated about money. We just aren't. There's not a system in our society for really educating you about money. And you say, well, go on the internet. There's so much misinformation on the internet as well. So you just have to be careful. So you have to find someone. Opposite of fear is trust, right? That you trust to help you.
Well, and I got to tell you, some of the people that I've run into that were either selling financial services or something weren't people that I necessarily looked up to. So why would I trust what they're telling me?
So find another one, right?
Well, yeah. And so then if you stop looking, or you don't even know what you're looking for as far as education, then you don't go looking. So there are some
Right.
people that look, and then there's other people that still have their head in the sand.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's been a real eye opener for me, is that, I talk to people all the time, and they're not everybody is like, I talk to realtors and they'll say, well, gosh, I sell houses. And I thought, well, not everyone's going to buy or sell a house at any given time. Or people who are doing their taxes, not everyone's going to do their taxes once a year. Everybody wants to be more aware of what their money is doing and how to be better with it, how to be more successful with it. And that education is key. And sometimes it has nothing to do with the dollars and cents and the best stock tip out there or that other thing. It's about what's inside of you. Why are you doing the things you do? Why do you have some of the fears you have about money? Why do you have some of the bad habits you have about money? I mean, do you have trouble paying off your debt every month? Do you have trouble sitting down to pay bills every month? Why do you have that? And if you have that, how do you get rid of it? So becoming educated is really, really important. So reading and attending workshops that deal with things like, what is your relationship with money and why do you do the things you do, is really a big key.
Yes, and I also saw, as you said, it's not only the money, it's your connection with the money, and understanding yourself and healing and taking steps in personal development directly affect and relate to your
Mm-hmm.
understanding of money, or being open to receive more information or think of it differently.
Mm-hmm.
My own perception over just the last few years, and I think it was Tony Robbins' book. What's the book name?
Oh, Money Master the Game. That is an extraordinary book. It will shake up a lot of things that you think you know about money.
It really did. And I was reading that and watching on YouTube in Dubai. And then, it just kept repeating in my head as I started to compare notes with my financial statements and started looking at that. And it really did shake the core of who I am. And I think that really helped for me take the next step with, Tony Robbins is talking about it. Holy cow,
Yeah.
we need. dive into this a
No,
little deeper.
and what I loved about his book actually was that he did not just talk about it from his own perspective. He interviewed experts. Jack Bogle, who is the founder of Vanguard, and Warren Buffett, and people who are huge experts in the world of finance. It wasn't just Tony's opinion. It was, I talked to him like he's my best friend, but I wish he was. He's a great guy. I think I'd like to know him.
Here in San Diego.
I know, one of these days.
Yeah.
But I think that he has a really great foundation there because he did the research and he quoted the research and he ran the numbers and he looked at the figures and he did the analysis that you don't have to do if you read his book. I'm a big fan of that book. I'm not selling it. You can't buy it from me.
No,
but
me too. Yeah. So we encourage anybody who's watching right now to read the book or to watch it on YouTube, because he does have some YouTube videos of it. Okay, so let's talk, let's say, about a gauge that can maybe open up the space so that we can receive the education and hear maybe that next expert, whoever that might be for a person, is to open up the channels of education and to release any fear that is blocking you from having that receptivity. So yeah, let's use the happiness gauge again. And this time, let's imagine the gauge from 0 to 100%. And let's ask the gauge how much energy is resisting you from getting the information and the education that you desire around money in your life in this moment. Again, every time we look at the gauge, it could be different. So in this moment, what percentage of energy is blocking you from having all the information and education you'd like to have around money? Well, my gauge is actually surprising. It's 65%. So it could be my fatigue or my routine or maybe, I don't know. So I'm just going to clear off the gauge because I'm a bit surprised by that. But this will happen all the time, is that we get surprised by how much energy there may or may not. And I always teach my students, let's just be neutral. It's just a number. And we have the power to clean it off. So that's the beautiful thing. Our windows get dirty. The car gets dirty, but we can wash it. It's not an end game. So not to be disjointed or upset because it's so high today. What was your gauge looking like?
Mine was really almost right on the 50, half and half, which for me is actually very high. I am always anxious to find out more, but I think that right now my mind is racing with all the end of the year stuff and everything that's going on, and I'm busy, and it's a really good excuse for me. I use it all the time.
Well, and that energy blocks, doesn't it? It
does.
Just blocks whatever we're trying to receive.
I felt like it all is around that busyness. So I'm blocking. I need to sit down and I try to read a couple hours, at least a couple hours a week, if not more. And I haven't done it in a while. And that's how I glean my education, because I always want to know what's out there. I feel like I owe it to myself and to the people I'm helping. So,
right. So speaking of procrastination being our
right into the number 3, huh?
Because we get busy, right? We just get busy. Call it procrastination or just call it busyness. But okay, let's talk about that.
If every time you answer, if someone says, "How are you, Denise?" or "How are you, Amirah?" and your answer is always, "Oh, I'm so busy," that should be a sign that you're kind of not really in balance. And so, and sometimes I think we want to be busy because it makes us feel important. It makes us feel like we're doing something. But sometimes it's good to look at what you're busy with. And I think that if you're so busy, you're not taking care of your financial life, and you're coming up on, as every day you get a little bit older, right? And if you don't pay attention,
not me.
epiphany. Don't pay attention to this, you're 60 before you know it. It's crazy. And so it's something we really just want to pay attention to. If we're putting stuff off, sometimes you have to look at why we're putting it off. Is because we're so busy? Are we just busy so we can say we're so busy so we can put it off? Or is it just because we're fearful, going back to the very first thing? Or because
we don't have enough education?
All kind of go hand in hand. It's really interesting how that works.
Right. So it's another dynamic that can be blocking us from our money flow.
Mm-hmm.
And they're excuses,
Yeah.
they're just, um, they're so oftentimes not even good excuses. We're just blocked with the energies. And you mentioned busyness. Well, we're in the holiday season, so everybody's scrambling, trying to get things done, overbooking, overscheduling, overcommitting, overeating, overspending. And so it's just all that crazy energy that needs to be cleared out. And that's why I highly recommend meditations every
Mm-hmm.
single day. But even if you could get to it every other day, that's excellent. And that's one method to just keep clearing the energy. And the
Mm-hmm.
more clear and more aligned we are, our energy centers with our spirit, our mind, and our emotions and our physical body, the more we're going to attract these
Correct.
things called money and or anything else that we desire. So let's look at this procrastination gauge in terms of having this gauge, and let's just ask ourselves what amount of energy from 0 to 100% is affecting us today from accomplishing anything that we desire to do today, whether it's have more money or having money come to us, or whether it's completing a project that's been way overdue, or if you've got products to ship to clients and you're not doing that. Whatever capacity, is procrastination affecting the flow of money to you? And what do you see, Denise?
You know what word came to me, and as we're doing this, is overwhelm. I think that that causes, well, shoot, I'm just going to the right next thing.
You're cheating,
Look at
Denise.
it.
Yeah, because that's
I-
part of it. Some of these things can't be really dissected too much. But
that procrastination thing is, it's like, well, yeah, I've got a couple projects that really need some attention actually before the next week is up. And so but I just went, I just feel so overwhelmed sometimes. I mean, none of us are perfect, as far as none of us feel that. People who are money experts should never feel overwhelmed and that kind of thing. We all have those kinds of things. We all are human beings, right? So I just felt like putting things off, and by putting things off, I don't fix the procrastination. I
and
make it
feelings
worse.
keep building of frustration, right?
Exactly.
You keep getting,
Exactly.
yeah. So
So
what percentage did it show up?
about 70, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, and that just
So,
stops all the flow. So we got to clean it off, Denise.
okay.
So take a
Okay.
sponge and just clean it off.
That will
And
be good.
you want to, yeah. So the idea is the way that question was worded, we would want it to be low. We
Right.
would want the
Yeah.
procrastination energy to be low. Yeah. All right.
Hmm.
Okay, let's ask another question regarding that. Let's
Okay.
ask the question to our same having this gauge. What is my ability to um, allow money to flow to me? So for whatever reason we've already talked about, how much can you let money flow to you now that we've cleared those energies?
Are you asking me, or do you want to tell me
Yeah,
what?
I'm asking you,
Oh,
and
okay.
anybody who's watching, they can be answering
Yeah,
themselves.
I think that really that does open it up when you start thinking about, okay, what can I open up? How can I allow that money to flow? Because by procrastinating, things don't get done that need to get done to allow the money to come in. And if you say, okay, I'm just going to allow that money in regardless, I will get these things done, and I will do that. And I'll just work my way through it and not feel overwhelmed and just be calm
Yeah,
about
one thing after the other.
it.
So if we were to ask the gauge again from 0 to 100, how much room do you have now that we've done these other clearings with these other gauges? Look at this new gauge. How much room, energy room, do you have to allow money to come to you now that we've cleared the other energies?
80.
Yeah, it's higher, isn't it?
87. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, we didn't take a
yeah.
read in the beginning, but so that's cool. So moving out that overwhelm,
I
reason
can't believe I
number
just jumped
four.
into that. I didn't mean to do
Yeah.
that.
Well, maybe four should be before three,
Yeah,
we should, they go hand in hand, don't they? We
right, right.
procrastinate, we become overwhelmed, we get overwhelmed, we procrastinate, and it just goes back and forth.
What they do, they create a self-perpetuating cycle, because if you procrastinate, you're going to have more to do the next day, which makes you feel overwhelmed, which makes you procrastinate because you feel overwhelmed and you just kind of want to tear out your hair. So guess what? You procrastinate some more, so you feel more overwhelmed. It can be a self-perpetuating cycle. And people, especially when you throw those other elements in it of no education and fear, you've got, a pretty nasty brew there, so
We've got, I was going to say, a ticking time bomb.
yeah,
you
yes,
know,
that's
that's where things can become explosive and then you just stop. Some people just stop. It's like stopping your car in the middle of the road and you're going to create an accident, and you just stop movement.
and not everybody is there. Some people are just little degrees of that. Some people are like, well, I'm not at a point where I'm just going to stop, but I might slow down just to make sure I'm not going to crash, or make sure that I've got everything. You see what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of people, might not feel the degree of this as some others. Everyone feels a different degree of it, just like the clearing exercises show us.
And every day could be different.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it's good to not just get hung up on this and to beat ourselves up because we are overwhelmed and we are procrastinating. Sometimes I couldn't get to something. Let's say, oh, taxes are coming up. So what I find I do is, who wants to do them? So we put them off. And ultimately, the way I see it is that there's energy on them. From
Mm-hmm.
all those receipts, all the things that we spent our money, all where we didn't make money, et cetera, et cetera. It's an energetic sort of Molotov cocktail that we just want to stay away from.
Right.
But when I ground the energy of that aspect that's overwhelming me, then I just leave it. Like I imagine it in a drawer or in a bubble or in a file folder, and I just add a grounding cord to it and I let it be. So it's not that I'm procrastinating. I'm waiting till I get the moment of like, okay, today's the day. It might have been there on release for 5 days. And then all of a sudden I just go, you know what? Now's the time. And I'm going to open the desk. I open everything up and in 4 or 5 hours, it's done. And I'm feeling relieved. I never had the resistance. So was it an issue of procrastination or was it not a right time? And when you get neutral to it and you can just let it flow, it's not a block.
Don't you think there's some intention in that though too, Amirah? Your intention was not to put it off, only to get it to the right time. Sometimes procrastination is just like, I don't want to look at it. I'm not going to deal with it. It's over there. I'm just not going to do it.
Okay. Yeah. Total avoidance.
I can see another perfect example. I have a number of clients who get, their mutual fund statements. They get one every month. They're tired of looking at them. They don't know how to read them. Every time they look at them, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. They're afraid. So they look at it and so what they do is they just don't even open it and they stick it in the drawer. And they don't even open it and stick it in the drawer. But if we say, okay, let's open this. Let me show you how to read it. So there's your education. So guess what that combats is fear.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't want to procrastinate as much. And if they can use the techniques that you teach to say, okay, I'm not quite ready to do this, but I can breathe into it and actually create a time where I'm not so frenzied about it and frightened about it. I can put it in the drawer until the time is right and I can deal with it. But I'm also getting educated in the meantime and I'm learning and I'm moving forward. I think that those things in combination can be powerful.
Well, and you just wrapped up or mentioned the final reason that we block money flow, and that's trust. And when you can put your arm around someone or go and help them and show them and read their mutual fund statement, they trust you. Mm-hmm. And so they're more inclined to let that energy flow and to really receive what the information, receive the education, receive their abundance, and knowing that trusting their future is getting better and their future is being planned out and their future is being sort of a foundation is being set of security, of safety. Mm-hmm. That's really that whole grounding mechanism makes us feel trust. We feel safe in the body. Mm-hmm. That's one of my energy tools that I teach too. So how big is trust with you in your business?
It's key. And, and it was funny. I had an appointment, oh gosh, a couple, 3 days ago. And the woman's like, okay, so what do I need to bring? And can we write this up right away? I said, nope, we're not writing this up right away. We are not doing that. We need to get to know each other. You need to know what I'm about, and I need to know what you're about. We're not going to suggest or ask for anything until we have a foundation of a relationship built. I believe that, especially working with money and healing like you do, I think it's really, really important that people have some kind of relationship foundation, that they know you're going to be there for the long haul, that they know that you have their best interest in mind. There's been too many people, gosh, in both things that we do, in healing and in finance, that
People get hurt.
Have been liars and not told the truth and hurt people. And I want people to know before we move forward, one, what they're getting into, so that education helps build that trust, and we spend some time together, and so we build a relationship. And that is I've been very successful in this industry, and it's because I don't approach it like most other financial people do, and my whole company doesn't. We approach it from a place of relationship and caring about people first, and then if there's something we can do to help them, then by golly we will. But if there's not, we'll just love on them anyway, and keep working with them on whatever capacity we can. So it's a very unique standpoint, very unique position that we have at Five Rings, because it's not your standard, come in, let's write it up, get out, and get your statement next month. It's not that.
Well, and it concerns me because over the years, my own experience, I don't think I would ever connect with somebody. I shouldn't say over the internet, but when you watch a YouTube thing and you've got somebody telling you what to do, and you just go sign up with them. In other words, I'm not that kind of person either. And I know that people that come to work with me, we do a stage and we get to know each other over time. And because then when I've got some tough things to say to them, I'm hoping that they're going to believe and trust me, right? Because it's not usually the hard things to know about ourselves, or it's just somebody, you need to be able to have that strength in that relationship. But not only that, that connection, maybe it's an old-fashioned term in a sense. Maybe it's because we're boomers, but we need that more than ever to feel safe and to secure. And money is a big deal. That I know that everything in our body and our life works when we feel safe and secure, and the body has its needs met. And certainly for money and having that sense of safety, we have to create that.
Right. And I think that as time goes on, the millennials are much better at it than us boomers, I think, as far as, seeing something online, seeing maybe this very video online, they'll be more accepting of it than most boomers. But that's why I think it's important to then step forward and say, okay, let's start talking. Let's just talk. Let's work until you're comfortable.
Right. So let's help people out with the energy tool, having this, and let's clear some energies that maybe block people from trusting, because sometimes we meet people that we should trust, but we're not able to because we've got previous issues that just total lack of trust, or we trust the wrong people, and I've seen that with my clients over the years. They've trusted the man in their life to manage all their money, and then poof, it got transferred overseas and their house was sold from under them, and the car too, or they were left with a big car payment, and that was all they had. So what was it energetically? I'm not blaming either person, but it is an energetic creation of just totally giving your trust for yourself even over completely to someone else. So I think it starts with us being able to trust ourselves and our own decisions and choices.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So let's look at a gauge again, having this gauge, and let's just see what's the percentage that I have of trust in my life for myself. Let's start with ourselves. I've got a pretty high level of trust today, in this moment. I'm showing 90%, so I like that.
I'm right there with you. I feel really good today about trusting myself.
Good. That's awesome. So let's let that gauge dissolve. Oh, we can bring it to 100. Let's bring it to 100, okay?
Okay.
We want to have 100% of whatever we can have, maximum. But although 90 is okay, that's a good day. So when we're done that, let's bring it to 100. And then we can just let the gauge dissolve. And then now let's create another gauge and ask the gauge, how much trust do I have to receive all of my money needs to be met and more? This could be several questions, but what's the percentage today of my ability to receive to trust my money goals, let's say? Today, I'm only showing 50% on that.
Yeah, it's a lower percent, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So we're just going to ground that gauge and we're going to clean it off with a magic sponge and just move the energies, bring all the energies off that gauge so it can spring up to 100% so that we can just have the money flowing. And your gauge and your receptivity of flow could be more than mine or vice versa. It could be different today than tomorrow. And so, that's just the law of nature. There's no right and no wrong. It's just being able to receive more. Because money is the game on our planet. So whether we like it or not, it's still happening. It's so pretty because the way the light is shining on your dark hair, it's like a light beam from God is shining down on your crown chakra. Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, that's good. I like the light beam from God. It does help if it comes in here.
Yeah, illumination. Yeah, for sure. So there you have it. There we've got our 5 top reasons for blocking money, and we opened up with some energy tools today to clearing that money flow in your life. So I sure hope that you've come here today and leave with more money coming your way. So as we promised, we've got a special for you. And Denise, you want to?
Sure. We felt that it would be just really awesome in this season of giving, the time of year when we think about, oh gosh, all the abundance that we do have, because we have to look at that too, not just what we don't have, is an ability to give back to the universe, give back to all of you. So what Amirah and I have decided to do is offer free consultation. And so I would say that, it's one of those things that if you can take advantage of it, we're certainly happy. It'll help us start building a relationship with you, help us see what your needs are, and give you some solutions to having more and how to keep it once you have it.
So Denise is offering half an hour consultation. I'm offering you half hour energy assessment so we can determine how those blocks may be removed and that we can get you flowing in your money manifesting miracles flow. In closing today, we'd like to share with you activating money miracles meditation. So if you'd like to just sit back in your chair and make yourself comfortable, we are going to, I'll guide you through a little process of activating miracles in your life. So breathing, and let's just create a fresh grounding cord from the base of our spine. Imagine a little gold illuminated ball of light. And just draw a line from that point all the way down to the center of the planet. And just anchor that securely. Give yourself that grounding cord and just activate the gravitational pull of our planet. So you can just begin releasing all the information that we talked about today and all the plans and the disappointments and all the activity that you've got going on in your life right now. Just releasing that down the grounding cord. Give yourself permission to have this few minutes of sacred space to create and manifest money miracles. And just letting any tension fall away from the body, any tightness or rules, things that have blinded you from having more of what's in your heart. Now imagine there's a bubble around you. Your aura, your energy field is defined about 2 feet around you, all around you. And just let a gold ring surround that bubble. Going from front to back, a golden loop or a hoop or a ring, however you want to call it. And let that golden ring be approximately 1/2 inch wide, and it's spinning, rotating. And imagine there's some little gold sparkles within that ring. And those gold sparkles begin to activate and spin even faster and faster and faster. Very good. And as you're visualizing that now, imagine a second ring that's surrounding the aura, going crossways across the body. And it too is 1/2 inch wide, and it's got sparkles that are magnifying speed, spinning faster, faster, sparkling more, brighter. And the hoop spins faster and faster. And as these 2 loops begin spinning faster and faster and faster and faster, they're sparking energy field within your aura, activating, magnetizing energy spaces, the nanoparticles, molecules within your aura. And allow the physical body to be activated. Molecules of your body are moving faster, brighter, coming into alignment, expanding with light, activating parts of you that have been dormant. And so that you become one giant golden glowing ball of light, of dancing particles, excited, jubilant, joyfully filled with love and light. And this is magnetic. You are magnetic light, and you draw to you all of your desires without effort. Simply being all that you are in complete alignment. And just notice any sensations in your body, mind, feelings. And breathe, just allowing this essence of yourself going into the thoughts that permeate your space, your mind, the brain. And go ahead and send this light down the timeline into your future. So you can imagine this sparkling light just shimmering off into the future, activating future opportunities and situations. And go ahead and send this light back into time, into your past, all the way back to birth and beyond if you're so inclined. Just activating the past timeline with present time information of love and light, and activating money miracles. Congratulations in bringing and manifesting money miracles to you in your life. So, with that, many magical miracles coming your way. I'm Amirah Hall,
And I'm Denise Arend, and thank you for that, Amirah. That was beautiful.
Thank you.